actions taken by the Trump administration. The new lawsuit seeks to block the U.S. Department of Agriculture's demand for sensitive personal information on the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program recipients. The multi-state coalition argues that the demand violates the Constitution and multiple federal privacy laws. The agency demanded information on all SNAP applicants, including their Social Security numbers and home addresses dating back 5 years. Wisconsin gets a new Supreme Court justice tomorrow. Savannah Tomei Olson has that story.
Susan Crawford will be sworn in as Justice Ann Walsh Bradley's term ends. Crawford won against Brad Schimmel in the most expensive state Supreme Court race in American history. It was by many analysts as a referendum on the early actions of President Donald Trump's new administration and Elon Musk, who poured millions into the race for Schimmel. The court will still have a 4-3 liberal majority after she's sworn in. Former Dane County Judge Jill Karofsky is now the Chief Justice on the state's high court. Crawford's swearing in is tomorrow at 4:30. Next year, conservative Justice Rebecca Bradley is up for re-election. Democrat Chris Taylor has already announced she's running to unseat Bradley.
It's fair time. The Wisconsin State Fair gets underway today in West Allis. Livestock exhibits, entertainment, carnival rides, and of course, cream puffs, and a plethora of fried foods await. The State Fair runs through August 10th. A little bit closer to home, the Winnebago County Fair is underway right now at the Sunnyview Expo Center in Oshkosh. The Winnebago County Fair has 5 livestock barns, 20 food booths, and rides. It goes through August 3rd. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
The Brewers lose to the Cubs. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers with a 10-3 loss to the Cubs. A rough day on the mound for Brewers pitchers. A bright spot was the Brewers' William Contreras. Hit his first home run in 6 weeks and then hit another. Pat Murphy.
William can hit, and when you have high expectations and you've been as good as he's been and you're trying to build your career and all the things that come with it, sometimes you go through stretches of not hitting as many homers. Obviously a great sign when he hits one to left field and then one to right field.
NFL Packers back on the practice field for training camp. On Saturday, it'll be inside Lambeau Field for family night. Nearly sold out. What's that experience like for the rookies?
For the rookies, they get to experience that for the first time. Running out in the Lambeau, feeling the crowd and the environment for the first time that, you don't want to give them that warning. You want them to experience that. But it's special. It's a fun night to be able to go out there, have a practice in the stadium. Pretty cool deal. I don't know how many other teams do stuff like that, so it's fun.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
As Wisconsin is summer weekends being spent on the lake, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy for tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine again from the smoky areas and highs in the mid-70s. Nice Saturday and Sunday. Weekend, sunshine and highs near 80. It's 74 right now.
Matt Nair on air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt Nair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at mda75.org.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
This week, Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez joins the show to talk about the launch of her campaign for governor.
Rational Revolution. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy whose house has an actual wiggle room, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. This is the Christmas Eve of weekdays. Thursdays are just wonderful in every sense of the word because Friday's a pretty good day, too. And it's great to have you here, wherever you're joining us from, all over the great state of Wisconsin. It's a beautiful night. Summer is winding down. We're almost in August, Conrad. What do you think of that?
Sorry, I can't hear you over the 188 smoke from Canada over here.
Is that what they're calling it, the 188? Or is that that's air quality level?
Yeah. It was at 192 earlier today.
I slept with the windows open last night, too, because I was like, well, do I breathe in bad air or do I run the air conditioning for like the 20th night in a row? Because even like when it's not in the 70s, when it's muggy and in the 70s, it's still hard to sleep.
Yeah.
So we've been running it like crazy because now we're used to it. And last night we had a breeze, but it was like terrible air. So, poison.
When I was gone on vacation and I came back that first day, my AC just wouldn't kick in because it was so hot. That was the hardest night of sleep I've had in a while.
Yeah.
Because it was so hot.
Brutal. I remember our wedding, the night before my wife and I got married, it was like the hottest day on record in the history of Wisconsin. It was like 98 degrees. The heat index was like 120. I think I slept for like 20 minutes. And there were people that did not have air conditioning in the 90s. Like in the late 90s, there were still people in northern Wisconsin. We don't need it. No, you do. You need it for about a month. But if you want to rough it, that's fine. But that's a brutal month.
Over in Europe, some places don't have AC.
I believe that.
Just still.
Some people here in America don't have AC. Some people in Wisconsin. I could not live without it, though.
I just don't think AC is regular over there in Europe. It's like if you have it, it's like a delicacy.
They think we're all soft over here.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. Great show tonight, folks. Glad you're here. It is a Thursday. It is the Popcorn Pick of the Week, which is one of my favorite segments we do here at Night Light. And joining us tonight to make the Popcorn Pick of the Week, which is where our guest gives you a movie recommendation, is sports director here at Civic Media, Jimmy Kuska, ladies and gentlemen. He will be here. Jimmy will give us a popcorn pick. We'll talk about movie snacks and how we like to watch movies. And then he'll give us a movie we should all run and see or stream or whatever. We'll talk a little sports with Jimmy. We got some Packers stuff we could cover. Brewers Cubs just wrapped up a series. Doesn't it seem like they went into that series tied? And the Brewers won 2, and then the Cubs won 1, and the Brewers are still only up by 1 game. Like the baseball series, it's like when you win a series, it's not even that great.
Honestly, that Cubs-Brewers series was awesome.
Well, for a Brewer fan, yeah.
Well, that last game had to give you some hope because they won like 10-3 or something like that.
I still just don't know what to make of it. Like it's still, I know it's late. It's the last day of July, but I still don't know if it's a good representation. Like the Brewers are pretty healthy, right?
Yeah, they're pretty healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Cubs are missing a couple guys, but I don't know. I still now that it's August, I might get the MLB, like the Marquee Network, which the Cubs are on.
Yeah,
because they're in the race.
Yeah, then it's just like you only have to pay for 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea.
They should do that with the NFL.
Yeah.
But the NFL's terrible to its fans. But anyway, we've got, and then in the second hour, this is exciting too, folks. Co-host of Matt and Air on Air, comedian, and all-around insightful, funny guy, Greg Bach will be here. Greg's been on the show a few times. He's a great guest. I can't wait to catch up with my fellow Civic Media host here. And Greg also owns a comedy club. Did you know that in Milwaukee?
The Laughing Tap.
The Laughing Tap. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then we have a great question tonight, too. So it's going to be a fun night here at Night Light. Great to have you, whether you're joining us on the stream or the app or on the good old-fashioned radio. Welcome to Night Light, folks, as we charge into a Thursday night. So, all right, we've got a few things we have to this is weird because we had to get to there's a mosquito in the studio, Conrad. How does that happen?
I open the door for a second and it's in.
That's so weird. I feel like in my home, I expect them to find me there.
Do you think it followed you all the way from Marinette?
It might have, because I was driving behind a really slow person today. Or it got in my car somehow and hitched a ride, which isn't cool. Chip in for gas.
Yeah, exactly.
But I had to get up today. One of the things about this gig, I do like the mornings. I'm kind of a morning person. But since I've been doing Night Light, even though I'm off the air at 8, I got to drive home. I got to unwind. I don't go to bed till like 1 o'clock. And I will say, I like not having the pressure of getting up in the morning. Like I've had a lot of gigs where I've had to be up, and that's fine. You figure it out. I do like the morning, and if I have to get up early, sometimes I'll get up extra early and enjoy the morning. But with this gig, I just don't do it. So I like not having to, I don't set an alarm. But today I had to, because I had to be here by 11 o'clock for a meeting for some stuff going on here at Civic Media. So I didn't sleep last night. Like I had to get up by 10, and I was still nervous about not being able to get up. Isn't that weird?
How do you think I felt when I had to do the morning show and I would get done with this show? I would be so nervous that I would sleep in through that because I had to wake up at 4:30.
But I think you get nervous because you're still a young guy.
Yeah.
You're kind of new here. You're still proving yourself, so to speak, to the powers that be. But it's kind of fun when you have to like produce a morning show, drink some coffee or take a nap, come back, then get up again. Like sometimes those kind of things energize me. Like being on a movie set. Like I've been on movie sets where I've slept like 3 hours a night, but I could not wait to get up and get to the set the next day because you're like so energized, you know? But it was weird. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, this is so sad that I'm not sleeping well because I have to get up by 10.
Once you start thinking about it, then you're like, you're doing it to yourself.
I'm just watching Seinfeld on my phone at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock in the morning. The other thing I thought was funny, I have a LinkedIn account, and, even on LinkedIn, I kind of have to be a smart ass, and I put, comedian, writer, whatever, radio host, part-time, or no, I put wannabe crooner, like Sinatra, Tony Bennett, whatever. So LinkedIn sends me this today. I got to find this. A singing job, a singing opportunity, probably based on my joke.
There you go.
Isn't that great?
Are you going to apply?
I might send in a little sample, and then they're going to send me something back, say, sorry, we misjudged you. It says songwriter and singer, promoted by hirer. I can easy apply. I should do it and then just sing really bad and just get the feedback. You know?
Should use auto-tune and make it really out of key so it sounds super bad and just robotic.
I don't need auto-tune for that. I thought that was funny. They're doing their job, though, over there at LinkedIn. And like 6 people noticed me last week. So
should I put like wannabe
running back? Do it and see if they find any jobs for you.
Running back availability for
Conrad. We got you a tryout with the Carolina Panthers. What? No, thanks. All right. Last night, folks, we had let's do this. Let's get to I'd rather explain this after our intro, but we're going to go to the Nightlight question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question. Pregunta. Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Questions.
Conrad hates soup. So tonight's question is a 2-parter. 1, what is wrong with him? 2, what's your least favorite soup? So I'm asking you to define Conrad's condition that he doesn't like any soup except broccoli cheese, which you could say is a casserole, too. That's barely a soup. And then 2, let's bond with Conrad. So let's all pick a bad soup. That's our question of the night, folks. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Civic. 855-75-CIVIC. Is that right? Just giving people random numbers.
You got it?
Just try these numbers, folks. See where you get. Text us on the app. Text us on the stream. It'll be fun to hear from you, and we'll get to read your text on the radio. It'll be fun. It's more fun when we interact here. This is like we're just hanging out. I'm trying to give that vibe. Like, I'm just the guy having the party. I'm not like talking to people. We're all hanging out. What kind of soup do you hate?
Oh.
So I'm going to go first because I know your favorite soup is broccoli cheese. And that shook me to my core. When you said you did not like soup last night, I literally almost fell out of my chair. It was such a blanket statement, and I couldn't believe it. But I applaud you. And when I sent this question to our social media team, I thought, you're going to get some props for that, for your individuality, so to speak. You got to take a stand. It can be controversial. That's what people that want like or clicks do, right?
Yeah, you just got to be yourself,
This is clickbait. Conrad hates soup. Go. I So check us out, folks. The radio, the app, the stream, wherever you're listening or watching. Give us a like or a follow if you don't mind. We love getting those. And tell us what soup is your least favorite and what is wrong with Conrad. Here's what I think. I think you lost your taste buds in a bar fight. Somehow a guy just caught you the wrong way. Something happened there.
Well, the soup thing came way before I was able to drink in a bar.
Well, this is Wisconsin, so how young were you?
It's, 16, so before that.
Right. Okay. All right, fair enough. I was trying to think of funny ways you could lose your taste buds, like doing like a Christmas Story thing where you put your tongue on the thing and the taste buds come off. But let us know, folks, and we will read your responses on the radio. We did not really talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger last night. Here's a guy he's made some. It's unbelievable to me that he's not a bad actor, but that accent has not gotten any. How long has he been in America? 50 years, maybe longer.
A while,
and he's made no improvements. He still sounds like "get to the chopper." It's like he's not even trying. And I don't care. I'm just saying it makes him kind of the same in every movie. But be that as it may, with his shortcomings as a performer or with his look, you have this thick Austrian accent and you're built like a mountain. Those are limitations when it comes to acting. And the guy has still made some pretty incredible movies.
Yeah, his best movie is Jingle All the Way.
No wonder you hate soup.
Just kidding. That movie's absolutely terrible.
Oh, it's awful. Do you have a favorite movie of his?
Terminator.
Terminator, yeah. I'm going to say Terminator 2 is a better movie. It's just the production value is better. It looks better. It's probably a better story, a little more depth. But Terminator 1, when I saw that, I just thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And it's James Cameron, who did Titanic and many other things, the Avatars. But I think I just loved it. It was so dark and kind of creepy. And I love that this thing never stopped. And he was great. He was good in that. And then they creatively made him the good guy. That took some writing. They introduced the T-1000. So I'm going to say Terminator 1 and 2 are my favorite Arnold movies. But I got to say, I kind of like the guy. He seems like his own guy. And I told you, his son that was born out of wedlock from his maid, her kid was in my wife's class in L.A. when she taught at the LAUSD. He was always bragging about the gifts Arnold Schwarzenegger would give his mom, the cleaning lady, and then he gave her a really special gift in the form of a younger brother, which kind of ended his marriage. But I don't know. I like Arnold.
Yeah.
He's a likable guy, right?
Yeah.
You think you could take him?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Now, maybe.
No,
he still looks pretty good.
I could take Terminator.
All right. We're going to read your text when we come back. Why does Conrad hate soup? What is wrong with him? What is your least favorite soup? It's a multi-platform question, folks. Have fun with it. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love.
Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Hey, Wisconsin, are you feeling summer? Then it's time to feel cheesy with delicious fair food. Feel grand with Wisconsin's top exhibitors from quilting to horse shows. Feel amped with live music at the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater and Main Stage. And if you're feeling gutsy, Spin City is calling your name. It's time to feel good. July 31st to August 10th, only at Wisconsin State Fair. Presented by U.S. Cellular.
Who's looking for some free family fun at Fisk Park? It's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, brought to you by Area 509 in Appleton. And National Night Out is on Tuesday, August 5th from 5 till 8 p.m. at Fisk Park. This is a nationwide event held on the first Tuesday of August, which brings residents and local law enforcement and first responders together in a positive and safe setting. There's going to be lawn games, face painting, arts and crafts, concessions, food trucks, and so much more. Get in on the action. Check it out. Go to WGBW.FM and click events.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Matt and Air on Air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt and Air on Air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
As Wisconsin is saying the word
I get so lost sometimes.
I thought we were at the bottom of the hour. I almost yelled, Conrad, you're coming back too soon. It's Nightlight with Peach Schwaba. Great to have you, folks. How you doing? You having a good Thursday? I'm having a great Thursday. Got to see some of my Civic Media colleagues today. That was fun. And it's nice to connect with people because I live an hour away. I don't get here. You're like the only person I see. Sometimes Eliza's here, but I haven't seen Pete in a long time. Peter Van Nostrand. That's a Seinfeld character. Pete's going to come on and talk about fantasy football. That'll be fun.
I can talk a lot about it as well.
Yeah. All right. The three of us, we'll have a round table. It'll be fun. So, yeah, we have a great question tonight, folks. We found out last night that Conrad does not like soup except broccoli cheese, which I think could also be confused as a casserole. So technically it's a soup, but mostly he says he just does not like soup. So our question tonight is a two-parter. A, or one, what is wrong with Conrad? And two, what is your least favorite soup? People are kind of ganging up on you. I thought it would be 50-50. I thought like half the people would come out in defense of you.
It's all right. You know, I'm on an island. I get it.
Take some names. Got a lot of these people's addresses. So let's read some social media comments. Amanda Nimmer, who hopefully is recouping well. She's at home for a couple weeks. She's doing okay, hopefully. She says, soup hates Conrad. So there. Yeah, that sounds like Amanda. I think she's doing okay.
Yeah.
She's got some serious attitude, as usual. Thank you, Amanda. Paul Vandenplas from Wonderfully, Wisconsin. Give Paul a follow at Wonderfully, Wisconsin. It's a great follow. Paul says, Conrad doesn't like soup? Does he also only order chicken tenders when he goes out to eat like the rest of the children?
Well, what did I have for lunch?
That worked out well. Paul says, I kid. It took until college when I started liking soup, probably because I spent most of my money on beer. I like most soup, but absolutely detest broccoli soup of any kind. I feel like Paul is kind of an authority because he travels around eating various Wisconsin foods. He was in Marinette a couple weeks ago at Mickey Lou's, which was fun. But Paul's he's a guy in the know.
Yeah.
Mike Mercury, Madison-based comedian and a friend of our show who's always fun to have on the show. He says, soup is good food. It says so right on the can. Can Conrad read?
No.
Sarah Jean Rosenberg, our pal, says, who doesn't like soup? One, who doesn't like soup? Two, cold soup. It's not soup then. It's like a smoothie, and I don't like it. Fair enough, Sarah Jean. And then Conrad, of course, says, soup will forever be my kryptonite. So you can't do anything when you have soup.
And when it's around me.
Presence of soup. You're like Phil Dunphy when he's around a clown. Lisa M. Hale says, how can you not like soup? That's like not liking water. So there. Lisa Hale, you don't mess with Lisa.
You don't.
I'm telling you. And Sarah Jean says, Lisa M. Hale, he probably doesn't like that either. Do you like water?
Yeah, I could go. I like water.
You like broccoli cheese water, but other than Amanda Nimmer again. Sarah Jean Rosenberg, he must have never had chicken noodle and saltines while watching The Price is Right as a child.
That's correct.
Wow.
I have not.
Have you ever watched The Price is Right?
Yeah.
It's the broccoli, cheese,
Just
and
not,
game shows.
not, eating soup with it.
Sure. Daniel Wheeler, I agree with JB. Let's read JB's text. Oh, these are out of order. JB says, apparently there is an uprising against Conrad. I embrace your uniqueness, Conrad. It is okay to not like soup. My least favorite kind of soup is split pea. The Exorcist convinced me of that in my youth. My neighbor lady had the best horror collection a 6-year-old could find, and she was also my babysitter. Well, in reality, I guess the horror collection babysat me. That's why JB turned out so well adjusted. The guy behind the guy. And then Daniel says, I agree with JB. Let us be a safe place for Conrad to heal. Wow. Going to the stream, our pal Dave Kunish says his dear mother named him K, Conrad with a K. What's wrong with K Onrad? You guys, I tried to start a fight between the two of you guys.
Yeah,
Remember,
he's a lover, not a fighter.
He's a lover, but listen to this. Get a load of this. Dave's least favorite soup, by the way, is clam chowder. And then Dave says kindergarten cop. But he's kind of coming after you there.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like a lover in that exchange.
It's all right. It's okay.
Luckily, Conrad's a lover, too. Let's go to the text line. We've got some responses in the text line. AJ, she's in the 608. She says, good evening, Pete and Conrad. I honestly don't know why Conrad hates soup. Join the club, AJ. She says, I thought it was a texture thing, but if he likes broccoli cheddar, that's the amalgamation of all soup textures, so I'm stumped. I love soup. I could eat it every day. But my least favorite soup is gazpacho. Cold soup is awful. I agree with that.
What's wrong with me is when I was younger, I was a really picky eater.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never, I don't know, soup just gave me the creeps.
What if we did something on the air to try to get you to like soup? That just screams great radio.
Me slurping?
And I'll take pictures and post them on social media of your reaction. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll have a local restaurant come in. You'll try 5 soups. We'll get a picture of your face after each bite, and then we'll post it, and we'll see what people think. Would you do that?
I guess, but like,
oh man,
does anyone want to hear me slurp?
I think so. I think you're curious. AJ says you might as well open a jar of salsa and eat that. Yeah, that's gazpacho, whatever. I'm not a huge fan.
I like salsa.
Cream of mushroom is the one is my least favorite. I don't like cream-based most things, but cream of mushroom just does not have a great taste. It's really kind of gross looking too.
Yeah.
And Paul from Spooner, he's in the 715. He says oyster stew is gross. It sounds gross. I have had oyster stew. I can't remember if I like it or not, though. Kelly from Janesville, she's in the 608, says, I'm guessing Conrad doesn't like the sneakiness of soup. I mean, it's hard to tell what is floating in there.
Yeah.
Gross face emoji. She says, for me, any single vegetable soup, pea, carrot, squash. Ooh, squash soup is good. Come on, Kelly. And pea soup is gross. I will give people that.
Peas are gross in general.
I've come around on peas. Oh, we'll be right back with more Pea Talk. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Civic Media Sports Director Jimmy Kuska comes up next with the popcorn pick of the week. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
A teardrop start, and it breaks my heart.
Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW. Connecting audiences, powering brands. This is Civic Media. Learn more at civicmedia.us/advertise.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. 2 Wisconsinites have now died from the rare tick-borne Powassan virus this year. Officials at the Department of Health Services confirmed to Civic Media that 2 people have died from the virus and at least 8 have been hospitalized. Melissa Kay explains what Powassan is and how it spread.
We know black-legged ticks, also called deer ticks, are responsible for spreading Lyme disease, but they're also the culprits behind the recent confirmed cases of Powassan virus in our state. The symptoms are similar to viral encephalitis or inflammation of the brain.
Fevers and headaches and malaise, not eating,
not drinking, not communicating. So basically, brain on fire symptoms.
That's Dr. James Thatcher. He's a physician at the Aspirus Tick-Borne Illness Center. He said that while the virus is rare, the severity is alarming. If you've received a tick bite and develop any symptoms, you should let your loved ones know and seek medical care immediately.
If you're not well, you should really make sure you're in communication with family if you're alone, and make sure that someone's checking on you. My biggest concern with viral encephalitis is dehydration.
Dr. Thatcher said the best way to protect yourself is to prevent bites in the first place. You can use chemicals like DEET, but natural alternatives also work.
Cedarwood oil, lemongrass, thyme, clove that help repel ticks, but also the other bugs.
I'm Melissa Kay.
Swimming in Lake Michigan may not be a good idea today and tomorrow. Here's Stuart J. Waddles.
There's a caution for Lake Michigan beaches between Kenosha and Sheboygan. The National Weather Service says there will be dangerous swimming conditions through early Friday morning due to strong northeast winds. Waves could be hitting as high as 6 feet.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If you're an actor and only interested in kissing your wife on screen, well, it would help if she's an actress, and a good one. Otherwise, you might miss out on some jobs. Sex and the City and Yellowstone actor Neil McDonough refuses to kiss any woman who is not his wife, even for big bucks. He says sticking to his principles has cost him work and that show business turned on him for a while. The Suits actor says he was fired from a shoot for refusing to do an intimate scene, and after that, he felt like less of a man in terms of who he was, his livelihood, and says he lost his acting swagger. He also says he started to drink. He did, however, eventually make a comeback despite his contractual stipulations. Producer Graham Yost did Neil a solid and cast him in Justified. McDonough told the Nothing Left Unsaid podcast that his wife doesn't even have an issue with him not doing those type of scenes. It's just that he doesn't want to kiss other women. There is something so sweet and yet so strange about that. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy for tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine again from the smoky areas and highs in the mid-70s. Nice Saturday and Sunday. Weekend, sunshine and highs near 80. It's 74 right now.
Matt Nair on air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt Nair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show.
Chef turned changemaker Selena Darrow is
It's time for the Nightlight Popcorn Pick of the Week, where we recommend a movie that you'll either enjoy or won't. Here's your host, Pete Schwaba.
All right, welcome back. This is Nightlight. It is great to have you on this Thursday night. And another edition of the Popcorn Pick of the Week, one of my favorite segments of the week. And our question, for those of you that want to be part of the show, is Conrad hates soup. So it's a two-parter. One, what is wrong with Conrad? And two, what is your least favorite soup? I see cream of mushroom. Conrad says everything except broccoli cheese. So let us know on the text line, the stream, or the app. Great ways to reach the show, and I will read your text on the radio. Right now, we are going to welcome our first guest of the night. He's a Civic Media Sports Director, one of the hardest working guys here at the company. He knows more about sports than most of us have forgotten. Is that how that phrase goes? I don't know. He knows more about sports than the knowledge I have in my pinky. That's wrong, too. I'm going to be that cliche guy that just keeps saying the wrong thing. Basically, my guest knows a ton about sports, and he's a great all-around guy, and I am happy to welcome to the show Jimmy Kuska. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Going very well. I got off on a tangent there, and I'm a little unsettled by it. But how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the colloquial metaphors that you're putting out here right now. Enjoying it.
I got a lot more where that came from, buddy. Hey, are you a soup fan, Jim?
I am a food fan, as most people can tell about me, but soup is definitely high on my list. Soup is versatile. Soup can be carried in a beverage container, like a thermos. You can make a bunch of it in a crock pot, and you've got a meal for the next couple of days. But my go-tos are typically things like goulash, beer cheese, double noodle, just straight up noodle soup. Those are some of my go-tos because, again, they're versatile. They can go with pretty much any other dish that you make. I tend to avoid things like chowder dishes, like clam chowder, things like that. I have a shellfish allergy anyway, so I don't want to tempt fate. And then you mentioned some of the cream of soups. Those are usually what you use as a base to make other better dishes. So I don't consider those so much soup, like cheddar cheese soup and cream of mushroom soup. You use those to make other better dishes, in my opinion. So,
well, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense because I don't think they're great soups, and I wouldn't eat them. But those are good. Those are the classics: goulash and noodle soup and all that kind of stuff. I think you're in good company there.
I think so. And if I'm ever out and I need to get fancy, there's always the minestrone soup, the one it's just like literally like every vegetable that they have in the back of whatever restaurant, and they just dump it in a pot with some shell macaroni, and they call it soup. So I always enjoy that.
There's a great line from Cheers where somebody said they use their tie as a napkin, and Cliff says about Norm, you could take Normie's tie, stick it in boiling water, and make soup with all the junk that's on it. So, yeah, soup is not complicated. Jim, it's great to have you here. Thanks for taking the time out. I'm excited to talk movies with you and movie snacks. So let's get into that. I know you have kids. I know you're a movie fan. How these days, or typically, how do you like to watch movies? Do you like to go to the theater or watch them at home?
So we are extremely fortunate in the town I live in that we have a budget theater that shows new releases. So $5 a ticket, I can go watch a new release. It's only got one screen, so they have to pick like the one new release that's going to be the thing, right? But it's $5. Also for $5, I get a huge thing of popcorn and whatever beverage. So for us, we have a budget theater, which makes it really, really nice. But what we also do when we have people over is, since our house and our garage are painted white, we set up a projector in our driveway. We grab lawn chairs, build a little campfire, and we watch movies right on our garage. So
How
in our driveway.
fun.
So we
That
have
is
a few ways to
great.
do it.
We did that during COVID at my neighbor's house. He would put a sheet between two trees, and we'd watch like Toy Story or something, and the kids loved it. That's what a fun tradition. What are your favorite, like, genre-wise, Jim? What do you like to watch? Not with your kids, but just you, Jimmy Kuska. What do you like to watch?
Yeah, if you're leaving it up to me, I'm gonna find some just god awful '90s comedy and put it on. I'm talking movies that have, they chase a MacGuffin. There's lots of hijinks along the way. There's no real point to it. It's just there for dumb laughs. That's where I'll default to. But I'll usually find myself in an action category. Spy movies are great, things like that. Find myself a lot, obviously, in Star Wars and comic books and all that stuff too. Like the usual stuff, sci-fi, fantasy, nerd stuff, but also comedy. So it's a kind of a wide range. But the other genre that I've grown to appreciate now that I'm in my old age, now that I have a 4 in front of my age, is that my wife and I can both enjoy together a romantic comedy, because that's more of her thing. But I like watching the ones that are unintentionally terrible and hilarious when they're trying to be serious about it being like a romantic whatever. They actually ended up being like really cheesy and terrible. And I love those kind of movies. You give me a terrible romantic comedy, I will watch it over anything else that might be on whatever streaming service of the day. So.
So you're watching it with your wife. She's crying and you're giggling, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. She'll have tears in the corner of her eyes because it's, they got back together. And I'll just be like, man, I can't believe it. Like 3 minutes ago, they completely hated each other and they were chasing each other around. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where, sometimes those movies have some gaping plot holes, and you're just trying to suspend disbelief, but you can only go so far, right?
Right. I think too, like there have been some great romantic comedies over the year, like Shakespeare in Love was a great movie. I saw one at the Wisconsin Film Festival in April called Threesome, which was thoughtful and just an amazing movie. So it's like any genre, if it's done well, I'll watch it. You know.
Yeah, and then there's the other side of that coin, which is around Christmas time when you get the Hallmark movies. Oh, that is prime viewing, man. I mean, prime comedy viewing for me, but. I know for some people they take it seriously, but for me, man, it is fun to just sit back and just like, what? There's a snowman that came to life. Like, what is going on here?
And he's great in bed. So what, Jim? What is your favorite movie snack?
Everybody in my family is a big popcorn fan, so I always have to default to popcorn. But personally, for me, it's Twizzlers. Twizzlers are my go-to. I will pack in Twizzlers because the ones you get at the movie theater are usually the small. You get the little packages. They last about 6 minutes. No, I'm going full on. I'm going into like the ones that are size of like armor plates. I'm putting like 2 of those in my jacket when I walk in. That's what if I go to a theater. Our budget theater I try to support though. They do keep it's a small local business, so I don't sneak it in there. But if I'm going to a $15 a ticket movie theater, yeah, you better believe that there's a big guy walking in. There's things hidden in his coat.
Isn't that funny? Like, I have no trouble doing that either at like the megaplexes, but we have a budget theater in Marinette too, and I wouldn't do that to that guy.
No, absolutely not.
I appreciate what he's doing. Yeah.
I will gladly spend cash at my local theaters that are locally owned, locally run. They deserve all the support. The fact that I can go watch a new release for $5 where I live in Boscobel, Wisconsin is just amazing. Like, what a great thing to have. I mean, small towns don't have a lot of the cool resources that a bigger city will have, right? We don't have things like delivery pizza here in Boscobel, but we can go watch a new release for $5. And you probably can't do that in most other places in Wisconsin, I'd wager.
Absolutely. My guest is Civic Media Sports Director Jimmy Kuska. He joins us here from time to time to talk movies and TV and some sports. He is here to make the popcorn pick of the week tonight, and we will get to that momentarily. Jim, so what do you like when you take the whole family to the theater, even your budget theater, you're dropping at least $50?
For the budget theater, it's typically if we bring $40, we can afford everything we need to because they have combo deals for like popcorn and pop and all that stuff.
Okay.
So we always walk in with $40. That's $20 for tickets, $20 for concessions, and we can refill everything when we're there. So we don't have to spend more. But that's usually it's $40 at our local budget theater. But if you go to like an actual like bigger movie theater, like if we go to Platteville or if we go to Madison or La Crosse, you're talking then like it's probably double that because you're buying everything. So
yeah. Have you ever snuck booze into a theater, Jim?
Statute of limitations is 7 years, so I don't need to plead the fifth. I haven't as a parent, but as a teenager, 20-something, absolutely.
Okay.
I used to live across the street from a theater, and that's all I did. I used to see how much I could get away with. I went from like 6-packs to 12-packs. Like this is stuff you do when you're 22. You just try to see like when are they going to stop me, and then they never do because they don't care. So.
My wife and I sneak, and we're even older than you. We sneak Blue Moon non-alcoholics in with us, and
nice.
She was throwing them away, and I said, "No, this has got to be like Paul Newman and Robert Redford in The Sting. You can't let them know you rip them off. You got to stick your empties back in the bag, or else they're going to eventually figure out who it is." Now, these teenagers are not going to tell us, "Hey, you can't bring," because I wouldn't confront an adult when I was 16 working at a movie theater. So I think we're safe, but I think you still got to play it. Keep it on the down low.
You got to play a little cool, right? Yeah, and it's more about the thrill than it is the actual like, hey, I'm gonna do something naughty, right? Like it's just about the thrill of doing it, I guess. And you do a lot of things like that in life, right? It's just one of those things. Is you're not really affecting anything if you weren't planning on buying stuff from whatever the big chain movie theater anyway. You're not really affecting anything. If you're responsible about it, who cares? So.
I'm not an extreme sports guy, but I will sneak a non-alcoholic beer into a movie theater. That's just how I like to live.
I used to go to baseball games. That's when my kids were younger. We had a diaper bag. You could put all kinds of stuff in the diaper bag. They never look through those. There are all kinds of things at the bottom. You have no idea. They're not going to look through diapers.
Worse yet, put the beer in a baby bottle, and you just drink it. I don't know.
That could lead to disaster. But anyway,
right? That could be a weird. You get a lot of looks for that for many reasons. What do you have when you watch movies at home, Jim? Do you still do the popcorn, or you do like a pizza, or do you put steaks on the grill? What do you do?
So what we do is we actually go to our budget theater and we get 2 buckets of the popcorn because they're huge. They're gigantic buckets of popcorn.
Oh, wow.
So we go get those. We bring them home. If we watch a movie at home or out in the driveway, if it's nice enough. It hasn't been this summer. We haven't had a good night this summer until I think tonight might.
Yeah.
We were thinking maybe tonight, but it's so smoky here. We're probably not going to tonight. But when we do it at home, we go get the movie theater popcorn from here because again we're in a small town. It's 2 blocks away. But it's that and we get the frozen pizza from the grocery store. Put a couple in. If we have people over, if it's just something, if it's a bigger movie or a bigger streaming event, or like a lot of sporting events now are being streamed only. Like Amazon and NFL Network and everybody else, Prime. They've all got like the Packers are on 2 stream only games this year. So we have all these streaming services. People come to our house to watch it. So we'll do that too. It might not just be movies. It could be a sporting event that streams only. And then, it's popcorn, it's pizzas, it's the usual stuff. There's no like set tradition of things we do, but we do. I think the oddity we do routinely is that we go to our local movie theater and we'll get $10 worth of popcorn, which can feed about 150 people.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you're still supporting a local business guy, even though you're not watching a movie in his theater or her theater. I think that's fantastic. You mentioned you're a big guy. Have you ever encountered like people that are yakking away in the theater when you're trying to watch a movie? Do you shush them? What do you do?
So I go to a lot of kids' movies, as you might imagine, not just because I'm 40 and I enjoy cartoons, but I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I think of like the Minecraft movie when it came out. There were a lot of like memes going around where people were chucking like popcorn and open bottles of pop at the screen and stuff like that. It never happened where I was at, but you get a pretty raucous environment when you've got a theater full of elementary school kids. And in those cases, it's more about the experience. Like these kids are all laughing together. They get most of the jokes that might go over my head. So I tend to enjoy it. If it's more adult themed movie, like it's not like an adult movie, but like a rated R movie, right? Where you're in a theater, if there's somebody that's on a cell phone or chatting away or whatever, I don't say anything, but I'm also usually the largest human being inside of those spaces. So if I stare long enough at them with my lazy eye, they tend to just stop doing it. So
let's be honest. You could take most of the kids in that theater, I would assume. So no one's going to mess with you. So
I don't know. Kids are quick, man. They get you in the knees and it's over. But adults typically don't want to deal with someone who's twice their size and angry at them. So
absolutely. All right, we're going to get Jim's pick right when we come back after this really short break. Great to have you with me tonight, folks. Great to have Jimmy Kuska here tonight. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network.
Walking down the street, I was feeling all right. I'm with my boys, I'm with my troops here. Down along the avenue, some guys were shooting pool, and I heard the sound of
Rebuilding and refreshing local radio one station at a time. This Civic Media radio station is proud to be a part of your community. Learn more at civicmedia.us.
When was the last time you detoxed your body? If you're like most people, the answer is probably never. Toxins accumulate in our bodies every day from pollution in the air we breathe and water we drink, as well as the food we eat, especially if that food includes fast food, processed food, and sugar. How do you know if you're suffering from a buildup of toxins? If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, headaches, bloating, and skin irritation, then those are all telltale signs. So, how do you detox your body? Well, you can add saunas or juice fasts, but what you really need is Active Liver from New Nordic. Containing a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, Active Liver makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Try Active Liver today and start feeling better with more energy immediately. Active Liver comes in both a delicious gummy or tablet. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or Meijer, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. After weeks of speculation, Governor Tony Evers has finally made his decision. He is not running for a third term. Evers has had an accomplished career as a dedicated public servant for 5 decades and has been a terrific governor for the state of Wisconsin these last 6+ years, and we should be grateful for his time in office. It's been a job well done. But all things must pass. In making this decision to step aside and not seek another term, Tony Evers is doing what he has done time and time again. He's doing the right thing. And perhaps in making this decision, Governor Evers can be the one to turn the tide on the Democratic Party's unwillingness to pass the torch to the next generation. In his own unassuming way, the mild-mannered former science teacher who became Wisconsin's governor can be an example to Democrats across the nation. Because we know what happens in Wisconsin politics often has ramifications that reach well beyond the state's borders.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for roadwork or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin, sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Let's go Brewers! You can go to the Brewers.
Wait, Todd, what?
It's Free Ticket Friday, Terry. A chance to win a 4-pack of Brewers tickets several times every Friday. Great seats, by the way.
Okay, so download the free Civic Media app, find your local station, and listen for the keyword. Then text it through the app for your chance to win in this statewide contest.
Free Ticket Friday! On your local Civic Media radio station and the app.
Mommy, how come I can't sit in the front seat?
Because I love you and you're just not ready yet.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the
Welcome back to Night Lights. We are talking movies, as we so often do. It's the Popcorn Pick of the Week. Greg Bach is here in hour number 2, folks. He'll be here at 7:20. We'll talk a little comedy and some matinee on air. They just did a great tour of the state, and we'll talk to Greg about movies as well. Our question of the night, it's a two-parter. Conrad hates soup. What is wrong with him? That's the first part. Secondly, what is your least favorite soup? We have some great responses. We'll get to your texts shortly. But right now we have... it is time. Conrad, you got a drum roll for us? Jimmy Kuska's here, and he's about to make the Popcorn Pick of the Week, folks. Jimmy Kuska, Civic Media Sports Director. What is your Popcorn Pick of the Week?
You know, it's not a sports movie, but before I was a sports guy, I was a music guy, right? My dad was in a cover band. I used to follow the band around even as a kid, like 9, 10 years old,
Nice.
going around helping set up lights and sound and stuff like that. So I always really gravitated towards movies, shows, whatever. I kind of went behind the scenes of those things. So my pick for everybody is a classic, Almost Famous. So Almost Famous
great.
is not only is it a movie that you can literally take the audio track from and put in your car for a car drive, a road trip anywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many quotable lines in it, but just the visual parts of it too. It really takes you back to an era of like rock and roll, right? Like rock and roll. And I think about this because of with Ozzy Osbourne recently passing away, with just everybody kind of reminiscing about, kind of that era of metal and rock, the 70s, 80s, early 90s. It's a movie that takes you back to that. And I always appreciate it as a movie that follows a young journalist who's following this band that's emerging, going across the country on a tour. I always thought of myself as kind of that reporter, even when I made it into sports, that was kind of me chasing around the Packers or the Vikings when I moved closer to Minnesota in my early stages of my career. That's kind of how I felt, just someone that was obviously very young and inexperienced for the role, but obviously very excited to be there and cover these things. So that's my movie for you this week, Pete.
That's a great pick. And that classic, iconic scene on the bus where they're all singing Tiny Dancer is just one of the greatest. That just became, and Cameron Crowe's a great filmmaker. I mean, he made Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Almost Famous, and that scene is one of the greatest scenes, and most memorable scenes in movie history. And I love that you can relate to the main character. That's so great. That's a great pick, Jim.
Yeah, this is this is one of those movies that I have a few movies that I will just take the audio from, put it on a, back it was CDs, but now it's just an MP3 file you grab, and you can put it in a car for a long road trip. The other one, obviously, for me is Tommy Boy. That's eminently quotable. That's the movie that you could always just take with you where you go. But those two usually lead off whatever I'm listening to. And now, obviously, now that this is out on Netflix, the soundtrack in our car, in our lives, even when my kids aren't here, is the Netflix series show K-pop Demon Hunters, which has kind of taken everything over at this point. It's all you hear in my house, and apparently in many other people's houses as well, as it's the number one streamed animated show on Netflix right now. So.
All right, so first of all, great pick. Jimmy Kuska, Civic Media Sports Director, his popcorn pick of the week, folks. This is definitely worth a rewatch, and if you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Almost Famous, just a great film. Kate Hudson, Billy Crudup is in it, maybe? Yeah, Billy Crudup plays the lead singer, I think, and then the kid who plays the journalist. Just a great movie. Well, very well done, my friend. Tell us, I don't know this show at all, Jim. My kids are older. Please, I know what K-pop is barely, but please tell us about this show.
You know, I think the best explanation for it for people our age is it's Sailor Moon, but for the kids of this generation. It's a K-pop band that has to save the world through music from demons, essentially, and it's got an incredibly catchy soundtrack to the point that I find myself singing along with it. And I'm not a big boy band / pop music person myself, but this stuff is really catchy. To quote one of the characters, it's infectious. It's just, it's all you hear around the house. So that movie has taken over. I think it's really blown up the last week or so. But it's really well done. I will say that if you have kids, you're forced to watch it. It is a good experience, even if you're an adult, because the story is really well done. It's family friendly. It's in the Netflix kids category, so there's nothing even borderline about it. Kids can watch it; it's perfectly fine. And for adults, it's watchable for sure.
That's so great. I have to say, the band BTS, I think it is a K-pop band, and they were on all these commercials. I'm like, what is this song? It has like a funk, like almost a 70s funk or Michael Jackson thing going. But K-pop, the thing is, the bands are like so innocent and kind of sweet. Like the music is great. Like I'll work out to it, but if I listen to the lyrics, they lose me. Like there's a lyric in the BTS song Dynamite where they say, "Get out of bed, glass of milk, let's rock and roll." It's like, I'm really not with you there. But
yeah, and they'll mix languages too. I mean, they'll go from Korean to English in these too. So that's one of the Netflix movies that's really blown up. Obviously, the other one is Happy Gilmore 2, which I don't think we have enough time to talk about. But I'll just say that for people who watch the original, that movie's made specifically for you. If you're an old like me, it's specifically made for you. Movie loses me in the back half, but if you just turn your brain off, it's enjoyable.
On the back nine. Can we keep you for a couple minutes after the news, Jim? Are you
Absolutely.
okay? Okay, so we'll do that because Conrad might want to weigh in on Happy Gilmore too. I think he feels about the same way you did, but we'll talk a little sports too.
I've got my Shooter McGavin cup right here. I'm
Now, which one was Shooter McGavin? That was Chris McDonald, right?
Yeah, he was the antagonist in the first movie.
Oh, so and he's in this one too, right?
He is. Yeah, a lot of callbacks in the second movie. Yes,
that's what Conrad said. It was like just a cameo fest.
It's a total cameo fest. Totally.
Like it's like kind of a love letter to Sandler's own movie.
Yes, it's literally it's if you were alive and enjoyed the first one, this movie was made specifically for you. That's what this movie is.
All right, Jimmy Kuska's here, Civic Media Sports Director. We're going to talk a little bit of sports with Jim before we let him go. Hang with us, folks, through intermission here, and we will be back for Act 2. The popcorn pick of the week is a great one, Almost Famous. I knew Mr. Kuska would deliver on that. Our question of the night is, what is your least favorite soup, and what is wrong with Conrad? Because he does not like soup. And you could defend Conrad, too. I didn't mean this to be a gang-up fest, but you're getting some love, I would say.
Soup is my kryptonite.
Whatever. It's Pete Schwaba Nightlight. We're coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Always with me, tiny dancer in my hand.
This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Tel Aviv meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as U.S. and Israeli officials work to secure a ceasefire deal and return hostages still held by Hamas. and says White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Tomorrow, Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee will be traveling into Gaza to inspect the current distribution sites and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground.
The Hamas-run health ministry says at least 159 people have died from malnutrition in Gaza. Tomorrow is President Trump's deadline for tariff rates to be implemented on foreign goods from dozens of countries. The White House says it struck a temporary deal with Mexico today to impose a 25% tariff on its imports that don't fall under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Heavy rains in the east, significant flash flooding warnings from Washington, D.C. to New York. This is ABC News.
Come work with us. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state. Open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
For 97 GBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Attorney General Josh Kaul has announced that Wisconsin's joining another multi-state lawsuit against actions taken by the Trump administration. The new lawsuit seeks to block the U.S. Department of Agriculture's demand for sensitive personal information on the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program recipients. The multi-state coalition argues that the demand violates the Constitution and multiple federal privacy laws. The agency demanded information on all SNAP applicants, including their Social Security numbers and home addresses dating back 5 years. Wisconsin gets a new Supreme Court justice tomorrow. Savannah Tomei Olson has that story.
Susan Crawford will be sworn in as Justice Ann Walsh Bradley's term ends. Crawford won against Brad Schimmel in the most expensive state Supreme Court race in American history. It was seen by many analysts as a referendum on the early actions of President Donald Trump's new administration and Elon Musk, who poured millions into the race for Schimmel. The court will still have a 4-3 liberal majority after she's sworn in. Former Dane County Judge Jill Karofsky is now the Chief Justice on the state's high court. Crawford's swearing in is tomorrow at 4:30. Next year, conservative Justice Rebecca Bradley is up for re-election. Democrat Chris Taylor has already announced she's running to unseat Bradley.
It's fair time. The Wisconsin State Fair gets underway today in West Allis. Livestock exhibits, entertainment, carnival rides, and of course, cream puffs, and a plethora of fried foods await. The State Fair runs through August 10th. A little bit closer to home, the Winnebago County Fair is underway right now at the Sunnyview Expo Center in Oshkosh. The Winnebago County Fair has 5 livestock barns, 20 food booths, and rides. It goes through August 3rd. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
The Packers prepare for family night. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Green Bay Packers holding practice in pads. On Saturday, they're expecting a sellout for family night at Lambeau Field. Second-year running back Marshawn Lloyd is out with a groin injury. Baseball, the Brewers traveling to D.C. today. They'll face the Washington Nationals tomorrow night. The Crew losing to the Cubs 10-3 yesterday. They won the series 2-1, but fell short of a sweep. Pitcher Freddie Peralta.
I'm happy because we won the series, but, my goal for today was just trying to give my best to sweep them, but
Peralta giving up 5 earned runs in just 4 innings, his worst start of the season. His first pitch of the game, a home run.
Freddie always gives you a chance. He did some good things. He'd like to have that one pitch back. I don't mind that the kid hit the first pitch out of the park, but we got deeper into it. Walking people, that's not part of his gig. That's not the best Freddie when he walks people.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Join the family. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state. Open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy for tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine again from the smoky areas and highs in the mid-70s. Nice Saturday and Sunday. Weekend, sunshine and highs near 80. It's 74 right now.
Taking your summer fun to new heights, and why not add a new family member too? I'm Lisa Hale.
And I'm Terry Barr. One condiment really taking center stage this summer. Part of our new Wisco weekend, Saturday morning at 8, Sunday at 11.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide. bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Matt Nair on air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's alright, it's alright.
And now, a guy who writes checks his mouth can't cash, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nite Light, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you with me. It is Thursday, Christmas Eve of weekdays. Conrad Krieger working the board. He hates soup, but we still like him. We just don't trust him. And I think that comes with the territory. If you're just joining us, we had a great hour number one. We talked about the fact that on my LinkedIn profile, I put wannabe crooner as a joke, and LinkedIn is now trying to find me singing gigs. And listen, I'll take one. I'm not beyond that. Our question of the night, because of Conrad's hatred for soup, we decided to just go all out here. It's a two-parter. One, what is wrong with Conrad? And two, what is your least favorite soup? I say cream of mushroom. We've had a lot of broccoli dislike so far through the text line. Conrad does not like any soup except broccoli cheese, which you could argue isn't necessarily even really a soup. But we also talked to Civic Media Sports Director Jimmy Kuska, who is still on the line. He's agreed to stick around for a few more minutes and talk a little bit about his area of expertise. Although,
well,
Jim, you do know quite a bit about...
Broccoli cheese isn't a soup. Broccoli cheese is a dip. So you dip other things into. That's what broccoli cheese is.
You dip other soups into it, and then you make a whole big mess.
It's actually one of my favorite ones when you have like fresh baked bread to dip into. It's a great bread bowl soup is what it is. Again, it's a dip. It's a condiment almost. It's not really a soup. So,
Jim, you have to. If I were you, Jim, speaking of condiments, we had the curator of the National Mustard Museum on the show last night because National Mustard Day is August 2nd. That guy was more fun than I ever thought he would be. And I've never met someone with so much love and passion for a condiment. It was a beautiful thing. All right. So thanks for sticking around, Jim, and helping us kick off hour number two here. Let's, what else are you watching? Anything before we get to sports? You said Happy Gilmore 2.
Yep. Happy Gilmore 2 is kind of, it's going to be polarizing because as a standalone, like just as a movie, honestly, it's not great. It's kind of a mess. But as someone who watched the original and enjoyed it as a teenager, 20-something, whatever, it's a love letter for those people who were alive and enjoyed the original, or maybe people who've caught the original since then. That's all the movie is. It's literally just taking you back in time. It's a nostalgia trip with tons of cameos, lots of fun, lot of cameos, lot of actual flashbacks to the first movie, some tributes tucked away in there. That's what it is. It's less of a standalone, like you got to go see this movie, probably why it's direct to streaming and not in a theater, and more again of a fan service for those of us who enjoyed the first one and we're around for that. So,
well, there's no bigger Happy Gilmore fan than the K-Man. He might all of his hatred for soup he channels into his love of Adam Sandler. So weigh in here, buddy.
Yeah, what'd you think of the Maxi Golf League? Did you like that little concept?
So the back half of the movie really struggled, and that was a big part of it. It just felt like it was unnecessary and over the top. What was brilliant, I thought, about the first Happy Gilmore movie, as goofy as it was that it was somewhat plausible having someone come onto a tour with a little bit of personality and a super long drive. Like you start seeing the personalities emerge a little bit, even in modern day golf, where people try to stand out. But that was a little more plausible than what they were trying to do in this one. And I felt like maybe it was just a thread that once they had burned through all the nostalgia, like, well, we need something to hook people. How over the top can we get? How can we have big colors and explosions and things and draw people in that way. And I think that for me is where it kind of got lost because it wasn't like that way in the original. And I thought the brilliance of it was that it was somewhat plausible that you would get a hot shot guy coming in who had played hockey and then hits in a fist fight with Bob Barker. To me, that felt realistic.
I love that you use the word plausibility and Happy Gilmore in the same paragraph. All right, so let's talk sports, Jim. Conrad and I have been talking back and forth. I'm a Cub fan. He's a Brewer fan, obviously. And I said, the Cubs for a very short time had the best record in baseball. They've been fairly consistent. The Brewers are on a hot streak like I haven't seen in a while. And I thought, I don't think they can sustain that. Well, I said that 2 weeks ago, and here they are. What do you think is going to happen down the stretch in this little rivalry we have?
I think people are looking a lot into what happened today at the trade deadline and panicking a bit that there wasn't more done but for either team, the Cubs or the Brewers. But you look at what the Brewers had done. They already made their big trades. They just did it, ahead of the trade deadline. I mean, they're getting in Quinn Priester, getting in Andrew Vaughn ahead of all of this. They've already made their big deals. And the stuff they did today was more, like roster flexibility. They have an injury with Jackson Churios, so they picked up a 28-year-old outfielder, kind of bridged that gap for a bit. Got a couple of pitchers who are banged up right now, took on a bit of salary for that, for some depth. But, the Cubs grabbed a utility infielder from the Minnesota Twins fire sale today. So I feel like both teams felt good about where they're at because, again, their records are among the best in baseball. So you feel pretty good about where you're at. You don't need to blow things up necessarily. Surely there's some weaknesses they might have looked to shore up, but you look ahead, the Brewers have a very difficult remaining schedule. They still have to play the Cubs again later on. I think the Brewers have one of like the 5 or 6 most difficult remaining schedules to go. So I think that the race down the stretch between the Cubs and Brewers will be absolutely fascinating to watch, given how difficult the Brewers schedule is and how the Cubs came into the year and came into the trade deadline for a lot of people with what many consider to be the top roster in all of baseball. So I feel like where we're heading with both teams is a good place. I think both teams are clearly headed for postseason, but the trade deadline today is probably frustrating to people who wanted to see more done.
Right. Great point. It's interesting. Like you just said, 2 of the best records in baseball. And now we switch over to the NFC North. If we can get a couple minutes of Packer talk in here before we let you go. That's a tough division in football. One of the best, if not the best. So what do you see moving ahead? What do you hear out of Packers training camp do you have a prediction as to how you think they'll do?
Well, first of all, here at Civic Media, we're collecting our NFC North radio affiliations like Infinity Stones right now. So, because we now have a Packers, Vikings, and we just acquired a Lions affiliate. So, we actually began our NFL coverage on current or soon-to-be Civic stations tonight because Detroit is playing right now against San Diego in the Hall of Fame game. So the NFL season is happening like right now, preseason anyway, which is practice. But next week, the Packers and Vikings will join in on it. The Packers will get it going. I think the most interesting thing about the Packers to me is that at the outside skill positions, receiver and cornerback, there's a lot of uncertainty as there has been for the last few years. And to the point they've even switched, Bo Melton to play defensive back, but now he's shining on special teams. And does the team use a roster spot on a guy who's going to play special teams? That's a converted receiver. What do they do with guys like Matthew Golden, who's come out of nowhere and is blowing up training camp and not getting a lot of attention in the press, but fans are certainly noticing him. Like those are the positions where there's a lot of question marks. And honestly, I feel like it's been for the last couple of years, the Packers will be just fine because the guys they have are all pretty good. There's not a number one top upper level guy that they're throwing money at. They traded Jair Alexander out, or they cut him and let him go. So, that part of it's out the window. Jair didn't play much last year. So I feel like the Packers will be just fine. And that might be the area of concern. I think one of the underrated thing about the Packers this year, this will be my last thought for the Packers part of it, is the offensive line. They just signed Zach Tom to that big, huge deal to play right tackle. They have Elton Jenkins playing center now, and he's trying to get a new contract as well. But their offensive line is quietly pretty solid, I think, going in. And that's going to help with another year of Jordan Love, another year with a great running back in Josh Jacobs. Offense feels pretty good. Defense is very young and athletic, and that's something the Packers have been striving to. It's kind of like what the Milwaukee Bucks did this offseason. They got a lot younger. The Packers have been one of the youngest teams in the NFL. I think this will be the 3rd straight year they'll be the youngest team in the NFL when they open up the season. The last few years they have been, and they should be pretty close when they finalize the 53 this year. They should be pretty close to that. So youth is the word, and the Packers are right there with the best of them.
Wow, goodness, that was great, Jim. Great answer. Buddy, thank you so much for your time. You're a great dad. You know a ton about sports and movies, and you're a great all-around guy. Almost Famous is Jimmy Kuska's popcorn pick of the week, and a great one. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Jimmy.
All right, I got to go back to watching K-pop Demon Hunters another 4,000 times before the end of the weekend, so I'll
Get
see you
those
guys later.
songs in your head. You could do worse. All right, buddy. That's Jimmy Kuska. Are you a fan of K-pop, Con?
No.
Why?
It's not my music taste, you know?
Yeah. What is your music? You like hip-hop, right?
Yeah, hip-hop,
Hip-hop.
and country.
Okay.
Not soup, though.
And you hate soup. Let's get to some texts. We've had some great texts here tonight. Our question again, folks, if you want to be part of the show, it's always more fun that way, it's a two-parter. Conrad hates soup. Part 1, what is the matter with Conrad? Part 2, what is your least favorite soup? Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids, that's the 608. He says, he's in the his phone is the 608. He says, Curly of the Three Stooges also had a soup phobia after his run with a bowl of clam chowder that bites back. I forgot about that. Something similar may have happened to Calvin. Oh, man. Conrad, listen, you're taking some heat tonight.
Yeah.
I know you and Dave are both lovers, but I see a throwdown, and I don't know. Maybe Tyler's. I'm sure he meant Conrad, or maybe he meant Calvin. What do I know?
Calvin might hate soup as well.
He's going after all the producers. Terry in Wausau, he's in the 715, says, I have a friend that lost his taste when he drank a flaming shot of Lopnau's at Lopnau's bar in Wausau. He eventually regained the sense after a couple weeks. All right, so maybe that's what happened to you. It just never came back.
No, it definitely did, because there's food that I love, you know?
All right. Thank you, Terry. Barb from Waukesha, she's in the 262. Any tomato-based soups like minestrone? Yeah, you know what? It's interesting, Barb. I'm kind of there with you. As I get older, I don't like the tomato. I don't like the acidic soups. Love a good tortilla soup, though. If there's a little tomato in that, it doesn't bother me. 608 says, I think I understand Conrad's soup aversion. My mom used to pressure cook vegetables to the point someone could... My mom used to pressure cook vegetables to the point someone could gum them who didn't have teeth. I hate split pea soup. I make German cabbage and potato soup, and the cabbage stays crunchy. Conrad just needs to try something that's not canned. Could that be it?
I've tried soups that aren't canned as well.
Do you like soups that you can just gum?
No.
Oh, that's funny. Anna from Madison says, hi, Pete and Conrad. I agree with Conrad. The cheese broccoli soup is great. My least favorite soup is French onion. It does feel like when you eat French onion, it feels like you're just spooning liquid salt sometimes. I'm kind of with you. Although I do like the little biscuit they give you, or the little baguette. No, it's like a Parmesan toast, something that they give you with
usually like a French onion. You have that sandwich with what meat in it? Roast beef?
Pastrami.
Pastrami.
Yeah, or what do you call it? The Irish corned beef. Corned beef? Pastrami? One of the two. Everett from Sun Prairie says, hey, folks, first of all, there's nothing wrong with Conrad. Some people are just weird about food. He says there's nothing weird about you and then calls you weird. Second, all soups are great if you make them yourself and you know what you're doing. I cooked professionally for many years and have made some very strange soups. Some good, some not so much. But it's a good practice to get into. Having said that, hot oysters are an abomination. That would stop me from trying an oyster stew. That would not stop me from trying an oyster stew made by a trusted chef, though. Broccoli, cheese soup can be good, but the worst is the nasty hot well sandwich change blizz.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
I haven't heard of that either. We need clarification. 262 from a bag you can find anywhere. It's reminiscent of puke. Yeah, you don't want whatever soup that is. That sounds awful. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our Civic Media All-Star Show continues. In just a couple of minutes, our pal Greg Bach will be here. He is the co-host of Matt Nair on Air and a very funny comedian. He's insightful, he's funny, and he is volatile. So beware. Greg's fun. He's coming up next. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
That sound, It's your recycling at work. And you can thank a Wisconsin woman for making it happen. Millie Zantow saw a waste sorting system in Japan during a trip in the 1970s. She came home to Prairie du Sac in Sauk County inspired. Her research led to the triangle numbered plastic recycling system we still use today. So can you guess what % of all the plastics produced in the United States ends up being recycled? 75%, 25%, or 5%? The answer coming up. Zantow also helped with Wisconsin's recycling laws, along with the opening of one of the first collection centers. But now, are you surprised to learn the answer is just 5% of plastics are recycled? It's according to the group Beyond Plastic. Yet Zantow always believed you don't have to be perfect, you just have to start. There's a smart slice of Wisconsin. I'm Terry Barr for the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nitsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Matt and Air on Air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt and Air on Air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by
Welcome back. What is wrong with Conrad? Why does he hate soup? And what is your least favorite kind of soup? That's our two-part question tonight. Let us know at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Or text us on the stream if you're watching the radio on YouTube, Facebook, or X Twitter, that is, and or the app. It'd be great to hear from you. Be part of the show. We'll read your text on the radio. Always fun when you guys participate. All right, so I'm excited to welcome this next guest. He's been on the show a few times before. He is one half of the dynamic co-hosting duo of Matt and Air on Air. He's a comedian, and he's a pretty solid human being. I haven't found a chink in the armor yet, but maybe we'll uncover that as the evening goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Greg Bach joins Nightlight. Hey, buddy.
Hello, everyone. Oh, that sounds terrible, doesn't it?
No, you sound good, dude.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself through it's just, okay, as long as it sounds good to you and the people out there in Radio Land, I'm fine.
Listen, I think we're okay. I think you sound good. You look good. The house looks great.
Thanks. You like my CPAP machine right here? There you go. All right.
Oh, what is that, really?
That's a CPAP. Yep. I started using a CPAP here a couple months ago. It's what I put on my face every night. Put that up my... Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. How's that working out for you?
Oh, my God. Pete. It's a life changer.
You getting better sleep?
Oh, absolutely. From the first night, I've been using it for June, about 3 months now, and it has changed my life. It's a life-changing experience. So if anyone, I'm a huge proponent of, what do they call it? An evangelist for this little mechanism. If you think you need one, try it. It will, like I said, change your life.
I see an endorsement in your future. I think you could
yes.
make a little scratch with that. You know?
I see a custom-made model called the GPAP is what I see.
The G-Box.
Yep. G-Box CPAP. All right.
It's great to have you, Greg. It's been a little while since we've chatted. I think I was on your show last since the time before when you've been on my show. I want to ask you, I was listening to you guys today. You and Jane are so great. You just finished a tour of the state with our best friend, Todd Alba. How did that go?
It was fantastic. We had a great time. I mean, we talk about these places all the time on the show, trying to reach people, have good conversations, find out what's going on, what's concerning people in Northwoods, Northwestern Wisconsin, so on. And you mention these places, these cities, these towns, but when you go there and you meet the people, it changes everything about your perception. And going to the Northwoods and talking to folks who are just, regular everyday folks, just like we are down in the big cities of southeastern Wisconsin. I had a blast, and I had two great road mates in Jane and Todd. So it couldn't have been more fun.
I can't even imagine. That's great.
Yeah.
And did you, when you're traveling around like that, did you ever work the road as a comedian, or were you kind of always Milwaukee based? Okay.
I did road work. I never did months on the road or, did big long stints, but I mean, I've got the car and traveled 16 hours for a weekend and Yeah. Colorado is not as beautiful as they think it is. So some of it's real boring.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I was surprised the first time I drove through Colorado, it takes you a while to get to the mile high part of it, right? It's very grass. It's like grassland, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it was fun. It was fun to listen to the show. You guys also do a segment I love called This Shouldn't Be a Thing.
Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite snippets?
Oh, gosh. Got me on the spot here. Well, we did. My God, I have to go back. I mean, there are just times where Jane and I are just cracking up, and I'm trying to think about all of them, but I had to give me. Wow, it's like asking you to pick my favorite children. There's like 40 of them. I don't know.
You have 40 favorite children?
Just 40 favorite. I have like 78 children, but only 40 of them are worth anything to me. 20 of them have jobs.
Working the road, yeah. You don't know what happens out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So who do you guys have coming up that you're excited about?
Oh, well, I mean, we have our regulars coming up. I always love talking to. We have Darren Von Ruden next week on Wednesday. He comes on the show once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, and he gives us the lowdown of what's happening in the farming community. He's the president of the Farmers Union of Wisconsin. And, there's a lot going on in the farming world. The federal, state government impacts them so deeply. And we think, and Pat talks to Hans Breitenmoser as well. And we talked to Pam Yankee, who's the host of the Midwest Farm Report. And until you really talk to farmers and understand what they're going through, it's like, we don't really, unfortunately and shamefully, we don't think about farmers a whole lot. And when you talk to them and realize what they do, what they provide, and what they put up with to do their job, it's, we should be giving them all the money all the time. Let them do their work. Buy them a new piece of equipment. That's for you for just being a farmer, being amazing.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great point. All right. We've got to do, when we come back, Greg, I want to ask, I've got some fun questions for you regarding movies, comedians, that kind of stuff. But before we go, you, I think, posted about Ozzy Osbourne when he died. Last week.
Yeah.
You seem like you're a fan. I'm kind of I wasn't really into Black Sabbath when I was younger, and I could take or leave the Osbourne show. Do you find when someone iconic dies that you weren't a fan of, and you have to read all the stuff on social media, do you feel left out? Because I do.
It depends on who they are. If they're someone who is genuinely a good person and made good art or did a good thing, then they're not my jam. I just feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the family. If it's someone I don't particularly enjoy, I'm like, can we all just be quiet about it? Can we just mourn in silence and just, great. I understand they were amazing, but no, it depends on who the person is what my reaction will be.
Right. I think you were getting at Hulk Hogan there, but we'll have more.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of the man. I've never heard of that guy at all. I guess he's a true American or whatever.
Greg Bach is here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have more with Greg after the news, and lots of fun still to come on Nite Light. Great to have you with me. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Rebuilding and refreshing local radio one station at a time. This Civic Media radio station is proud to be a part of your community. Learn more at civicmedia.us.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Tel Aviv meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as U.S. and Israeli officials work to secure a ceasefire deal and return hostages still held by Hamas. Answers White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Tomorrow, Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee will be traveling into Gaza to inspect the current distribution sites and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground.
The Hamas-run health ministry says at least 159 people have died from malnutrition in Gaza. Tomorrow is President Trump's deadline for tariff rates to be implemented on foreign goods from dozens of countries. The White House says it struck a temporary deal with Mexico today to impose a 25% tariff on its imports that don't fall under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Heavy rains in the east, significant flash flooding warnings from Washington, D.C. to New York. This is ABC News.
The Packers prepare for family night. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Green Bay Packers holding practice in pads. On Saturday, they're expecting a sellout for family night at Lambeau Field. Second-year running back Marshawn Lloyd is out with a groin injury. Baseball, the Brewers traveling to D.C. today. They'll face the Washington Nationals tomorrow night. The Crew losing to the Cubs 10-3 yesterday. They won the series 2-1, but fell short of a sweep. Pitcher Freddie Peralta.
I'm happy because we won the series, but, my goal for today was just trying to give my best to sweep them, but
Peralta giving up 5 earned runs in just 4 innings, his worst start of the season. His first pitch of the game, a home run.
Freddie always gives you a chance. He did some good things. He'd like to have that one pitch back. I don't mind that the kid hit the first pitch out of the park, but we got deeper into it. Walking people, that's not part of his gig. That's not the best Freddie when he walks people.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. As fun as superhero and big franchise films can be, it's refreshing when some critically acclaimed films hit the big screen, especially a comedy. The Naked Gun is the much-anticipated remake of the native Wisconsin Zucker Brothers classic. The film stars Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Without having seen the movie, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it appears for once that Liam Neeson will not kill a bunch of people who mess with his family. But if he does continue the tradition, it should be hilarious. The comedy is pulling an incredibly impressive 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. To clarify, yes, a comedy is actually playing on the big screen this weekend, and critics love it. Savor this moment, people. The Bad Guys 2 follows your favorite felons as they try to reform themselves, but wouldn't you know it, and darn the luck, they get pulled into another caper, but this time by bad girls. I should mention this is a family film. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you at the movies. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin is saying the word bag instead of bag. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy for tonight, some areas of smoke and lows in the mid-50s. For tomorrow, filtered sunshine again from the smoky areas and highs in the mid-70s. Nice Saturday and Sunday. Weekend, sunshine and highs near 80. Currently at 72 degrees.
Matt and Air on Air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt and Air on Air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Maggie Dawn.
While I'm off taking in the best Wisconsin Northwoods has to offer, we've got you covered everywhere in the state. Enjoy highlights from recent shows and don't miss your chance to win tickets.
Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. Great to have you with me on this Thursday night. Tomorrow night on the show, artist Spencer Young is in the studio. He is going to paint, Conrad, I think I told you this. He's going to paint an actual couch potato. So I think we have that to look forward to. It'll be fun to meet Spencer for the first time. And it's a bar band Friday night. Our Wisconsin music expert, Terry Barr, will be here talking about local awesome bands that she brings every week. Right now, my guest is Greg Bach. He is one half of the outstanding duo of Matinaire on Air. If you're watching on the stream, you can see Greg as I do. It's like you're in the room, Greg. We have a great text here for Greg. Pete, shout out to Greg. This is from Carmela. She's in the 414, as is Greg. Pete, shout out to Greg. Love him. Civic Media is killing me tonight. I just left the Tosa Library and heard Jim Santel. He's still talking, but she left. Says I had to be somewhere by 7:30, so I left. He's such a great speaker. Then I get in my car and hear you, Pete, say my guy Greg is a guest. I will listen on the app later. Here is where Greg plugs the app for free. Tee-hee. Loves you a long time, Carmela. I think most of that was meant for you, pal.
Well, I appreciate that. We absolutely love Carmela. And shout out to the Civic Media app. It's absolutely free.
Dynamite.
Yeah, Jim Santel, that's another guest we have on our show weekly on Thursdays. And he just, former U.S. attorney, practicing attorney, advocate, bringer of good things, explainer of good justice and good works, and can make the most complex cases digestible even for guys like me who barely got out of high school. So, thank you very much, Carmela. I always love hearing from you, and we appreciate you listening via the radio or the Civic Media app.
Which is free, as I understand?
Absolutely free.
Okay. Greg, you are also a comedy club owner, probably because you got sick of driving 16 hours to Colorado. I totally understand that. What is going on? I know the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee moved or is about to move. What's going on there? Do you like your new space? And who's coming up?
Well, honestly, that's where it's kind of we are finalizing all the information of the new space. Can't announce the exact location, but it will be in Milwaukee, of course. And we're looking forward to bringing the good news and really getting people in there immediately, because it's coming up to fall. Like we're knocking on. It's State Fair's here. That means summer's over. People, put down your shorts and get on your woolly pants. Here comes fall. But yeah, we want to get ready for the fall season. We're getting ready for the comedy festival, which happens in October. It's our 20th year for the festival. Patton Oswalt is our main headliner, and we'll have more information on who's going to be performing in the weeks to come. But there's a lot going on, and the tap is not in a physical space right now, but alive and well in our hearts. And as we know more, I will share more.
Oh, that's great. I didn't realize. Okay, that's fantastic. Are you jaded? You got to be jaded, Greg. Owning a comedy club, do you still, are there comics you watch and roll your eyes? Are you still just a huge fan? How does that work? I can't imagine owning a comedy club.
I don't think I'm jaded. I think if I was jaded, I would just not even care. I would be one of those comics, we all know them, who are just like, I don't laugh anymore. Right. I don't laugh,
Like they're proud of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've heard all the jokes. No, you haven't. You just don't like to laugh. That's another problem. Talk to a therapist. I don't know, but no, I don't think I'm jaded. I have my nights where I don't want to be in comedy's gaze, because I'm just like I'm just not feeling it. But I still marvel at the fact that I have the ability to watch comedy all the time. I get to see these amazing comedians who travel all over the world, have been on television, been in movies, and here I am sitting in the back of the room and enjoying the night, and it's not lost upon me the awesomeness that can be. The gratitude I have for it is still there very much, and the jadedness. I think I'd probably just get jaded when I see bad comedy trying to be edgy or think it's smart in the newer, some of these comics who are trying to tell, I just tell edgy jokes, or I'll just say whatever I feel. I'm like, yeah, but everything you say sucks. So I wouldn't be proud.
It's not the audience.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's the audience sucks. Like, I don't know. I think some of your premises, notice I didn't say jokes. Some of your premises are terrible. So yeah.
That's funny. Who are your favorites, Greg? Who do you like locally and nationally? Who gets you excited when you watch comedy?
Patton Oswalt is still the top of the mountain for me. He's the guy who is the one that made me feel like I could do comedy. He's, his brand of storytelling, observational humor, and his growth as a human, not just on stage, but as a person, he, in my opinion, has grown and realized who he is and accepts the world as it changes. And I think that's important for a lot of young comics to do because, there's a lot of comedians out there, especially older dudes who are like, I talk about whatever I want and I don't care. It's like, yeah, but you sound like an old man yelling at the clouds now. So, as far as newer actually, if you can tonight or check it out tomorrow, Olivia Carter is a wonderful comedian who's I've worked with her many times. She's making her Tonight Show debut this evening on the show. So we probably catch it tomorrow on YouTube, but she is very, very funny. Her ascent and her evolution as a performer has been fantastic. My buddy Evan Hall in Chicago is just phenomenal. He is so, so funny. And, there are so many great comedians out there, and it's a double-edged sword because there are so many more places to perform now. There's so many new ways to be seen, but that means you got to work even harder to distinguish yourself from everyone else. And, it's not like the old days where it's like the city has one club. We're going to go see 3 comics. Those 3 comics are going to go on the road, and then 3 comics. It's like you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have the club, you have DIY shows, and there's very much a great variety of comics saying wonderful things, and I guess half the fun is finding them. But yeah, I could go on and on. I mean, there's so many other comics out there, but those are the ones that are just popping into my head. I mean, Dana Ehrman from Milwaukee, she is phenomenal. I think she's been on your show, hasn't you?
She has. She's great.
Yeah,
we gotta get her back, Conrad.
And our buddy Kristen Lighty is
funny. Love her.
Good Lord, just absolutely amazing.
My guest is Greg Bach. He is the co-host of Matt and Aaron on Air that you can hear from 10 to noon every weekday here on
9 to 11. 9 to 11 now.
9 to 11. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. It's interesting you said that about Patton Oswalt. I'm just going to be honest. When I remember going up at a club called Largo in LA a few times, and it was a weird thing because it was kind of a club, but kind of not. I never totally felt comfortable there. But Patton Oswalt was still on the rise in his career. People, it was like worship, Greg, to the point where I couldn't look at him objectively as a comic. Like he would walk up on stage and say, Matt Damon, and people would laugh. And I'm like, he hasn't said anything yet. But that's where he was still ascending, and it was amazing. But I totally agree with you. When I hear him talk now, I'm like, this guy has evolved. He's one of the best ever.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I listened to an interview with him once, and he spoke to that fact that when you reach a certain platform, when you reach a certain, height in comedy, I'll just use that. I mean, it can be really any performance art, but in comedy, you have to take in consideration. This is what I'm paraphrasing. He has to take into consideration that because of the name and the brand recognition, he wonders how much are they laughing at me and the jokes that I'm telling versus are they laughing because I'm Patton Oswalt? And I think that sort of reflection and inner, that realization can really inform what you talk about, because it would be easy to stand up on stage and just say sentences and bloviate and basically do a lecture, a TED talk, not naming any names again. And people think you are the bee's knees, the absolute greatest ever. And you haven't said anything funny. So I think I guarantee you that night you saw him, I wouldn't be surprised if he had that thought of the adulation is wonderful. We love the claps. We love the laughter, but you have to wonder how good are you? And are you at risk of resting on your laurels?
Right. And he never did. And what I thought was impressive was in his mind, he had to say, look, I worked hard. He always had new stuff. And I'm like, let's get to the jokes. Like, you're supposed to be savvy comedy fans. Let the guy talk. It's like, I remember working with Bill Hicks years and years ago, and people started shouting out the bits they wanted him to do. And he finally said, will you all shut up? I'm not an effing jukebox.
Yeah.
I thought, my God. I can't believe you talk to the crowd like that, but it worked, and he's right. Let the guy, it's an art. Let him talk, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely 1000% agree.
Greg, what are you watching? Have you seen any good movies? Are you binge watching anything you could share with us?
Well, I mean, I saw both the Superman film, the new one, and I saw the new Fantastic Four movies. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I really, really liked them. I'm a comic book movie fan, and I'm not so delusional that I can't tell you when one isn't good, or I haven't enjoyed it, I should say. But I did enjoy the Fantastic Four as well as Superman. As far as TV shows, I just watched 2 wonderful British detective shows on BritBox. One of them called Death Valley with an actor named Timothy Spall, who was in the Harry Potter movies. He played Peter Pettigrew. And then I watched another one called Ludwig, which with David Mitchell, who's one half of Mitchell and Webb, which is a famous comedy duo out of England. And that's another, they're both detective shows, and they're cool takes on the detective trope of TV shows and procedurals. I mean, those 2 shows and Deli Boys on Hulu. Those are 3 shows that I literally sat down and just watched, absolutely just power watched and finished their first seasons. And Pete, I think you'll enjoy this. On Saturdays, one of the things my wife and I do is after we do our errands and we get ourselves home for the Saturday afternoon, we usually binge watch the 80s show Simon and Simon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have forgot about that show.
Oh, it's yeah, it is. I have that theme song is an iconic theme song in my head. And I looked for it and I found it on I think the Roku channel. And I was like, let's watch an episode. Well, 2.5 seasons in, we're like, it's Saturday. We got to watch Simon and we got to watch Rick and AJ. Rick and AJ got to solve a crime.
Greg,
so yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say that's a great fun show, and it's I wouldn't mind seeing a reboot of that one.
That's great. That's a show I just totally forgot about, and every once in a while you hear about that, and they're so worth a revisit. And whether it's for nostalgic purposes or because they're really well done shows and they hold up. I was going to ask you if you could do this in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, give me something great about Milwaukee that people don't know about, like Summerfest, the Brewers, whatever. Give me an awesome thing about Milwaukee.
Atwood Park and Beach. It's a little bit north of the city, a little bit north of above UWM. It is a beautiful, beautiful spot. There's a little park. There's a beach down some steps, and on a clear, beautiful, warm day, if you're down there, you feel like you're in a tropical island.
Conrad is agreeing and shaking and bobbing his head. That's so great. Thank you, buddy. Always fun.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you both.
Anytime. All right. That's Greg Bach. Check out Matt and Aaron on Air from 9 to 11 every day here on the network. Every weekday, that is. We're coming right back to read a whole bunch of texts, folks, so don't go anywhere. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I was always tired with weekly bouts of indigestion. A friend asked me, when was the last time you did a detox? Never, I said. So she recommended Active Liver.
Our liver works hard every day to remove toxins from processed foods and unclean air and water. But too many toxins can overwhelm the liver, causing it to actually store toxins in our body fat. Low energy, brain fog, headaches, bloating, and skin irritation are all telltale signs that we need to act. Water or juice fasts tests can help, but often require days or weeks of feeling tired and sick. Thankfully, there's an easier way. Active Liver from New Nordic is a natural supplement that helps your liver effectively eliminate toxins on a daily basis, leaving you feeling better with more energy and less bloating.
Within a week of taking Active Liver, I was feeling better, and now I have more energy than I've had in years.
Available in both tablet or delicious gummies, you can find Active Liver online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or in stores at your local CVS or Meijer grocery.
With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the time for hope. Keep the momentum going and join us in Green Bay on September 27th for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Join us by registering at alz.org/walk.
Matt Nair on air.
Corrine Hendrickson, you mentioned a conversation with Ron Johnson, Corrine, about the need for childcare in Wisconsin. How did that go?
I said, why don't you think we should fund? And he goes, I think an elegant solution, it would be for moms like you to stay home so the other moms can go to work. And I said, well, and I shouldn't get paid for that? And he just kind of stared at us. And I said, that tells me all I need to know.
Matt Nair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals. So I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. Conrad Krieger working the board. Great to have you with me tonight. We are in the home stretch here. I'd like to thank my guests, Greg Bach and Jimmy Cuska. It's been a Civic Media All-Star show, and my Civic Media brethren always deliver. You know, Dan Schaefer is on Greg and Jane's show often, and he is coming on in 2 weeks to talk about The Wire. We're finally doing that. Possibly the greatest TV show ever. A lot of critics say it is The Wire. Dan loves it. I love it. I'm really looking forward to that. That's probably going to be August 12th, I think we decided on, but we'll have more information. So let's get through some texts here, Con. Where do we leave off? We got, I like this one. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids says, I don't care for alphabet soup. I can't get a word in edgewise. That's, I'm embarrassed. I'm laughing at that. Thank you, Tyler. Awesome stuff. Everett from Sun Prairie says, also, how do you choose? Oh, wait. Sorry. Everett has a two-parter. Like our question tonight. He says, hey, folks, first of all, there's nothing wrong with Conrad. Some people are just, wait, I already read that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Did I read his second text?
No, I don't think
That's what happens when I jump all over the place like this. I read Anna's. Okay, here we go. Everett from Sun Prairie says, also, how do you choose a favorite Arnie flick? Predator, Terminator 1 and 2, Running Man, Total Recall, True Lies. The list goes on. All great fun.
Jingle All the Way. Where is that?
Jingle All the Way. Dave on the stream said, Kindergarten Cop. That's another, that's a snooze fest. And then let's go to Annie from Watertown. Beef noodle is her least favorite soup. I don't even know if I've heard of that.
Beef noodle soup?
Beef noodle soup? You said needle. Beef needle soup? That sounds even worse.
No, that's tasty.
Jim from Appleton says, what's wrong with the K-Man? Absolutely nothing. My worst soup? Add me to the list of split pea soup haters. On the side, on an aside, I think he meant, does anyone remember the movie Roadie? It was an all-behind-the-scenes movie about setting up for bands and other shows. I don't remember that. I remember a show like that, but I don't remember what it was called. Thank you, Jim. Steady Eddie says, Pete and Conrad, clickbait headline soon to be seen on Conrad's new YouTube food channel. Conrad declares war on soup, but not broccoli cheese. And why he says you should hate soup too. Steady Eddie. Steady Eddie adds a postscript and says, I don't eat much soup these days. Usually it's very high in sodium. As a kid, I loved Lipton chicken noodle soup, but refused to eat vegetable soup. A lot of puke emoji. The puke emojis even gross me
That's
out.
what PS stands for?
Yep, it's a postscript. Why are you giggling? Like you just
didn't
heard
know
something
that.
dirty.
I don't know why I never thought it meant postscript.
What do you think people are just putting two letters together randomly?
Please, sincere. No, I'm just...
Please, seriously.
Seriously.
I have something else to add. That kind of makes sense. I think we're onto something there. John from the 608, he's in Madison, says, Conrad, my friend, I can eat anything except for peas. I saw a film about bird nest soup. OMG, it's mostly bird spit. That's the only bad soup I am aware of so far. Is that really a thing? Are you really eating bird spit?
That sounds tasty to me.
Of course it does, because you hate the normal stuff. John says, I love this exchange. John had some trouble with his keys. Ever had Ryder water soup? Fair question. And he says, he meant Werner water. He corrected himself, but he didn't mean that either. I think he said wiener water. Remember when we were talking about the hot dog soup or the hot dog water?
Water from 7-Eleven last year?
Yeah, from 7-Eleven, but it was a hoax. Hang in there, John. I have fat thumbs, too. I have trouble texting sometimes. Tyler from Wisconsin. Sorry, Conrad, I got my alphabets mixed up. Boy, these texts are all over the place.
He's talking about because he called me Kelvin before.
Right. No, and he probably did that over a bowl of nice hot soup that you would have hated. Everett from Sun Prairie says, to clarify, this is interesting. And these might have gotten mixed up too, Conrad, because he already texted us. All right. Everett from Sun Prairie says, to clarify, a hot well is the hot holding solution for soups at many restaurants. A well of hot water with a bain-marie, which he says is basically a metal bucket with a lid. The soup sits at temp until it is empty or it gets dumped. Usually from a bag that came frozen, the soup sits and gets nastier and nastier, having started from a low bar already. Coincidentally, I am having a lovely black bean soup with tortillas, vegetables, chicken, cheese, and Valentina extra hot right now, a dollop of sour cream to boot. All right, that was well done. Thank you, Everett, from the 262. That was awesome. And our pal Tony the trucker says, Pete, Campbell's chicken noodle is disgusting. It's the texture of the noodle. Yeah, that is true. He says FCC regulations won't let me tell what they remind me of. You could text it, Tony. I'm the one. The pressure's on me. I can't read it. But you've put that image. I can't believe that's the last text, and I have that disgusting noodle. No, here we go. Melissa from Willie Street getting in under the wire from the 608. She says, hi, Pete. Please tell my husband, John, to stop drunk texting. That's right. Melissa and John are married. I forgot about that because he called her his old lady last week. Remember that? All right, Melissa, you hang in there. We'll talk to Greg. We'll do an intervention. Drunk texting never hurt anybody, right? We got a great show tomorrow. As I mentioned, it's a bar band Friday night. Terry Barr will be here. She is our Wisconsin music expert who always brings outstanding local bands with her and performers. And also Spencer Young, a local artist, designer. What's his company called?
Well, Forever Young Designs. He does all the Packer fences. He paints
the murals.
All those.
Yeah.
And recently he was actually just on ESPN and he did an interview on there. So that's pretty cool.
It's very cool. And he painted it with a football, as I understand it.
On Mino and the Mayor, when he was on it, he did a Don Hudson. He did a painting with a football.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And he has agreed to paint a couch potato tomorrow.
With a potato?
I don't know how he's... Listen, he's an artist. I'm going to leave it open to interpretation, but based on his work that I've seen, he will not disappoint. So that'll be another fun night of Nightlight tomorrow, folks. Thank you for all your texts and being part of the show. That always makes it so much more fun. Everybody, have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow night. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
I'll take you to your best friend's house, Mama.